What's up, fellow oddlings? This is Frosty,
And this is Panda.
and we got some decent topics today that we're just gonna fall all over. I know that I'll be talking about some stuff from Madhouse Gaming, a little bit of Blizzard news, some jerk journalists, and a creepy company owner, along with a odd rapper.
And since I was a greedy boy last podcast, I'm going to just talk about one subject this time, but not for nearly as long. I'm going to be focusing on the story of ProggerU and them claiming censorship over ads and videos. More details later, though.
So, it has been a weird month. I can say that in the least. And after watching video after video and scrolling through random websites, a couple of things stuck out to me, and I'm going to start with the kind of exciting bit first. A company by the name of Madhouse Gaming. They're a small company. The only game that I know that they've even come close to producing is a racing game that I don't even know the name of. They are putting their hats in the console gaming. They're gonna
Soulja Boi?
like Soulja Boi.
Please, God, no.
Except these are legal gaming systems.
Well, I mean, I guess it is a nice, important distinction to have.
It is. They've had two separate concept arts to come out with, and one looks like a tower. It's like got LEDs, looks like a PC, and the other one is like a bent PlayStation 4.
Because everybody loves bent shit.
Think of a bow tie. Like, that's what the damn thing looks like. However, they say that it's supposed to, it's basically going to have the power of your modern PC game. It's going to run at 60 FPS for most of the games. It's going to support most major hardware. They just want to jump in the ring and see how they can add into competition. And us normal U.S. citizens, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but capitalism.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I believe it's way overdue to have more than just 3 console companies, but, my concern is, one, will they be able to make the hardware friendly enough for third-party developers to want to actually develop onto it? If they don't have the ability to appeal to developers, then, okay, yeah, cool, you've just made a prefab PC to sell me. That doesn't really stand out as a console.
Well, see, the thing about it is, though, we've got 3 years before the console will even be close to hitting the market. So within the time of now, from the announcement to release time, we're going to have a new console generation come out. They're going to have time to study what's out there, how games are being produced, and how to undercut the market in a sense. They'll be able to get in with those indie companies that are struggling with their games getting on the PSN network, and dealing with Microsoft not wanting to support so many systems or so many game companies because they just bought a crap ton of companies as of recent. So they're going to have first party games out the wazoo.
Well, okay, you say those words, but I don't think you understand what those words mean.
I know what words mean.
No. I don't think you do. Snow cones don't have concepts of words. It's a miracle that you talk anyway.
First party's woo! Third party's it's a beer.
Anyway, the concept of first party games is like when Nintendo makes a Mario game. They are making the game. Third party is when Activision makes a game for Xbox. That Activision has nothing to do with Microsoft. In this example, I don't know if that's true, but those are the names that came to my mind.
Okay, well,
don't at me, bro.
But okay, so they're their own gaming company as well. They already make games, so they're gonna have their own first party games.
Well,
since that's where we're going.
I'm hopeful because again, competition drives the capitalist market through, and I appreciate that. If they have any sense in them, they'll wait till about halfway through this generation. This upcoming generation, not this current one, to release this console because, at least then people will have the money to put down on it. if I go out and spend $500 on the brand new PlayStation X13, you know, I'm not going to want to then turn right around and dump more money on a console that hasn't been proven. So if they're smart, they'll wait till about halfway through the console generation and just hop in. Sure, their first generation will have a shorter lifespan than, you know, most traditional consoles, but at that point they'll at least be able to hop into the market with less risk and less chance of being outshined in sales by those who are already established.
I mean, yeah, the oh god, what was it? The Philips
CDI,
yeah.
3DO. No,
Yeah.
3DO was fucking some other company.
Yeah, regardless, they were doing good. Their problem was they gave us a controller that looked like a TV remote, and then by the time they actually
there were many more problems in that whole situation of video games, like the fact that everyone and their fucking mother had a video game console that was totally different from their neighbors. Like that's the whole fear of oversaturation of options.
Take the words right out of my mouth. Why don't you, Panda?
I will. I'm smarter than the average panda bear.
Blah.
You didn't even let me finish my saying. Now people will never know how clever I truly am.
But yeah, I mean, it's a lot to postulate, and seeing as though we've got 3 years to wait, all we can do is really kind of hope and pray that this is something that knocks it out of the park. I really think what would behoove them would be to produce a few heavy-hitting games in the next couple of years, so that we see what their capabilities are game-wise, so we know what we're looking for when the console comes out. Because right now, Sony has been crushing it for the past 3 or 4 years.
If they really want to wow the market and they really want to make a good impression, they don't need to be dividing up the effort of their company to develop video games alongside their console. They need to either double down on the console or don't put any effort into it at all. Like, because what you do, you develop your console, you get some other companies to develop tech demos, games that are more simplistic in scale, but still can still show the capabilities of the console. And then what you do, you put free shit out there. Send it to your big influencers that are on social media, whichever one you pick, and have them look at it. How many tech channels are there on YouTube that just love to look at new tech? You throw them one for free and say, play it, give us an honest review, and then in a month or so release the video a couple of weeks before our release date.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would be smart for, even with the console, it'd be smart for them to just send it out to a couple of big streamers. Be like, play our system, show it off for us. Publicity. I mean, yeah, it's a good idea. I hope it works out for them. If you want any other information on this from guys that are way smarter than a frozen chunk of ice, you can check out YongYea and GameRanks. They actually have some really good extra info on this.
Putting up names of channels on the screen.
So we can discuss this for a second. On the 7th day of January, to our holy dark lord Cthulhu, there was a gamer by the name of Ellie who was going to join an Overwatch, basically a minor league team, and through some backlash and her being a female gamer, she got some flack thrown at her, and Blizzard didn't really do a lot of investigating. Like, she was removed from the team. Come to find out, though, like, it's not a real person at all.
I think I remember you telling me about this. Like, it wasn't even that it was a real person. It was like the entire account should have been suspect from the get-go because, like, their playtime was super low, but their freaking ELO, or I don't know what the hell Overwatch calls their ranking
It's
system.
ELO.
Their ELO was fucking skyrocketed for someone who had put so little time. It was obviously a Smurf account of someone who was much better at playing. But yeah, I remember you telling me about that, John, and all the fallout of people wanting to talk smack and saying, "Oh, it's definitely not a real person because look at them, that account's totally bullshit." Right? Or am I just?
No, you're completely right. Polygon actually produced an article on it, and it just basically goes over how they should be paying more attention to those that are joining the teams of players that are under their game banner, and how they need to be following up on when they scout players for lower class teams. They don't do a background check. They just check your gamer score or your player score, and then test you out, and boom, you do it, and you're ready to go. They didn't do that. So like that was knockout on their part. The player who was actually doing the playing was a well-known player by the name of Punisher. It just fell apart, man. They got accused of being sexist, and there was jokes about ethnicity and
shotgunning different concepts of reference so that everyone can see this, so we don't have to list all of them by words.
Badoosh. But yeah, so
I think it's absolutely amazing that this actually happened. Like, I love the fact that someone not only proved the fact that you don't have to be able to represent yourself as a person, as long as you can back it up with the play. You can do whatever you want as long as you lie about who you are. I think that's absolutely beautiful and poetic, and how seriously they want to take these people who they know nothing about at all, and give the world to this Ellie. But Punisher hasn't been able to get a fucking team yet.
Yeah, he's been off the map for a while. Blizzard did have a response that it says, while the company does not commit to commit on individual personal issues, we can share that having an inclusive and respectful work environment is extremely important to us. We have a policy against harassment and discrimination, and take reports of inappropriate behavior very seriously. Apparently not. Or at least in my opinion.
Oh no, they take it very seriously. Absolutely. Seriously enough for everyone to just fucking laugh about it and realize how fucking stupid you come out on the other side looking. You're a multi-billion-dollar company, and you can't do a fucking search for any of this person's media? Yeah. Like, that's like precursor information, a first and last name, and they couldn't even provide that.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. If a person does not provide a first and last name, they should not be allowed to compete on a professional level. That's just basic shit. And Blizzard was just so happy to be like, oh, it's a woman who's good with the click shoots. Let's go ahead and run that shit all the way to the market. Oh wait, this person don't exist, and they might have a penis.
Diversity?
Can't be having that shit. We gotta have diversity.
Yeah. So
let's talk about multi-billion-dollar corporations doing stupid shit to people.
Woo! Topics.
So, I'm not sure if anybody who's listening to this at any point in time remembers or knows of ProggerU. They do a lot of educational videos. I've seen them in my college classes, but they do make some mildly conservative, opinionated pieces. Then, and that's the thing that we're going to focus on. We're going to circle back to the conservative messages. They recently, I want to say it was actually tail end of 2018, were complaining on Twitter about Google suppressing their analytics through the recommended feed. Like they weren't recognizing any real growth through just what basic people get recommended on YouTube. That's a whole other story of trying to explain it. There are plenty of other people. I think MatPat has probably done a video or two on it. PewDiePie's done a video. Nerd City's done a video. Many people have explained it to an extent that I could never do myself. So look at all those wonderful people's videos if you want an in-depth coverage of how that recommended growth works. But go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I noticed that it says their website says that 10% of their entire collection is in restricted mode. What is
so restricted mode through YouTube is pretty much basically saying that video is private now. that it's not going to show up in search results. It's not going to show up on their homepage. It's not going to show up in anyone's subscription feed. It's not going to show up on recommendeds. That video effectively doesn't exist.
What?
Yeah. Short insert of a video that they do, this one being not so controversial.
Today we're on Miami Beach and we're asking people if they can name all 7 continents. Let's do it. Can you name all 7 continents?
This one being a little more controversial. And so, I mean, yeah, they're not the most politically correct or left-leaning journalists. So let's just circle back and escape from my tangent. So they're basically taking Google to court, trying to say that they're being censored. And after all of that happened, well, you got to find a new platform because you can't really help the company who you're suing pull in clientele while you're trying to sue them. That's kind of just a bad look. So they started trying to endeavor to run Spotify ads. Well, after a couple of days of running those ads, Spotify pulled all of their ads, all of the ones that they had already paid to be run, and told them we're not going to run your ads anymore because they violate a policy. It's super fucking vague, which is always a really good sign. When people tell you that they're punishing you for something and don't tell you what it is that they're punishing you for, always a really good thing. I'd certainly love to be in a whole lot of trouble and never know what the fuck I did.
It's the state of the country, really.
It's the state of fucking people. But anyway, basically, again, while this whole lawsuit with Google is going through, other big tech giants are starting to seem like they're lashing out at ProgReview and again, actively suppressing them. I'm not going to say that I'm a conservative and this is absolute outrage, but it's hard to look at this situation and not kind of see that this is completely unfair. That you have all sorts of people, all sorts of like companies. Look at the trending tab. Go ahead, pause and go look at the YouTube trending tab. $10 says that at least half of the videos you're going to see on that first scroll is going to be late night with fucking any co-host. I mean, you got Stephen Colbert, you've got
Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, you name it, a freaking late night host has a video on the trending tab. Guaranteed. But this company who's putting out a different viewpoint, sorry, can't have any of that.
It seems like they're being beat down because they have conservative views, and like from what I understand of ProgReview, they're educational. They're teaching people stuff.
Part of their portfolio is educational videos. Like they do historical commentaries on like presidential runs, as well as just different things in different parts of society. Not everything they have is educational, but on the same route, not everything they have is fed through a conservative lens. Now, it's not really just about ProgReview though. Like, if you'll look at this tweet, this guy, Dave Rubin, has posted a tweet that says, "It's all ramping up before the 2020 election. Who outside the progressive groupthink will remain? This is absolutely absurd, and I'm not just saying that because I have the second most viewed ProgReview video." And like, he brings up a point because I know that Americans remember the midterms. The midterms were absolutely chaotic and all of the shit that was happening in them. We had all sorts of crazy shit going on, from multiple caravans being marched up through Mexico and all of Latin America to come seek asylum at our border, which causes a whole immigration discussion, which of course isn't polarizing at all. Then you have ballots being counted weeks after all of this is done. Like, I mean, it's a county in Florida. They found people dropping off ballots from a sedan to a moving truck.
It's Florida. What do you expect? They have alligators marrying peasants.
It's one of the smaller counties in Florida. They had a population of like maybe 8,000. Don't quote me on that. It's Broward County. Like,
That's your problem.
It's a small ass precinct. Like there should have. How the hell are they done? But New York is okay. Like you've got places that have 1,500% of the population that were done in a single day.
That's your problem. They're called Broward County. Very lowbrow people down there.
Oh my god! Just
taste my goofiness.
No, that was just bad, Frosty, bad. But like this, it seems in my 27 years of existence on this earth, I have never seen such crazy, coincidental, polarizing things happening all at once during an election.
Not necessarily. Back in, oh God, do not quote me on the year, but when Bush and Gore were running, not only did we have ballots go missing and be blamed for being set on fire, we also had, once again, a border issue. I mean, it's almost a rehash. The problem that we're seeing, though, is that we have a president that has a lot of controversy surrounding him currently. We have our state representatives who don't know how to have a normal conversation with one another to solve our national issues. And then we have this border problem that either the president is going to throw his wall in the ring, or they're just going to push over the one we have currently there. So it's almost as if we've doubled down on the bullshit.
You know what that sounds like? Sounds like a wonderful thing for the odd hour.
I'll give you that.
So, stupid transition card.
On the 15th of this month, I was scrolling through the YouTubes and come across a video by Jim Sterling, and it's videos backed up by the Quartering and YongYea, and it was about good old Randy Pitchford, lead dude over the Borderlands series. Fantastic set of games.
Shitbag of a person. Great games, though.
Yeah, shitbag. Apparently, dude left a company thumb drive at a medieval times. So, like, now, as bad as that is, it's company files, possible game links, just bad. What makes it worse is there was prawn on that flash drive.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, he said it was a magic trick. That he was interested in the video because it was amazing.
I'm sure it was amazing, Randy. God damn it. Like, okay, first off, the real question is, like, what the hell did you have a flash drive from work at a medieval times for? Like, what, do they have computers by the ring for you? I don't understand how the hell that would even come out.
He was taking notes on jousting.
Oh, what the fuck ever.
It was like, dude, and there was a little bit of controversy. It's been debunked now, but the title of the video was barely legal, and it was assumed some rough stuff, but it's not bad. It's just porn.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and comment on the quality of a man's porn, because that's not for me to judge. The thing is, though, why was it on a company flash drive? Why can't you just use your phone like everyone else?
I don't know, man, but he had to save it. He had to watch it later. Had to get that idea. Make sure it went into his next game, the magic trick.
Oh, what the fuck ever. I swear to God, if I see anything by Gearbox that has magic trick anywhere near it, I'm just turning away. I'm not supporting this. This degeneracy.
It's gonna be a robot shooting balls out of its midsection at you.
Quote unquote midsection.
Bing! I haven't looked at any of the tweets surrounding it, but I don't know, man. That's just, you're already having problems getting a new game out as it is, and you want to leave this out? That doesn't. That also is backed up by the fact that he's also having some form of. I think you're the one that brought it up too. What was it? An argument or discourse with somebody? Outside of that?
More than likely, no. Because the only thing I know about Randy, other than the fact that he's a jackass and a complete shitlord for all of the shit that, surrounded his company over... There was this game that was supposed to be critically acclaimed, faithful to the series that it was based on, super groundbreaking, but ended up being an entire shit pop. Colonial Marines? Yeah. Snips, throw up that funny tweet for me. Thank you.
You mean the one where the aliens float through the air?
Hey, they come out of untextured vents, too. You gotta remember untextured vents.
Or the fact that the dude went in and changed one letter. One letter in the game worked.
My thing is, Randy is known for being a complete and total piece of shit. I personally think he's a piece of shit. A lot of games commentators that I've watched over the years think he's a piece of shit. I'd be surprised if anyone he works with doesn't think he's at least an asshole. But, somehow he's escaped the majority of his controversy, and I guarantee you, come a month and a half from now, he's going to be like, oh, it wasn't even my flash drive. Somebody planted it on me. Even though we have evidence saying otherwise, he'll somehow just get a fucking way with it. Because fuck you. That's why.
I forget I think it wasn't James Gunn. The director for Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, it was Gunn.
Yeah, posts one tweet 5 years ago and loses his contract to make the next Guardians of the Galaxy. How is it that Pittsburgh still has his company and leaves stuff like that in medieval times, blatant disrespect for the company, in addition to allegations of having sexual parties? And he's still able to run.
Well, there's not a tweet. There's not a tweet about it though. He didn't tweet it. It was just a flash drive.
Yeah, it was twatted.
This totally. I see what you did. I see what you did there. But hell, man. There was a fucking picture I saw a while back. It was back when the whole AR-15 meme was going around, the additional attachments meme, and someone put a tweet from 5 years ago as the attachment you can put on the AR.
Ew.
And it's just today's society, there are going to be people who are scrolling through everyone who's even mildly important shit. And they will look for the one thing they can take out of context and use against you.
Is it true that you can become unverified?
Oh, dude, there's a lot of fucking shit surrounding Twitter and its own censorship of any pundits or people who have any sort of non-mainstream narrative ideals. There are plenty of people who you'll see around that have their blue check mark, but as some black guy likes to put it, or Sargon like to put it, that check mark is a status symbol to a lot of people. And as soon as they get that verified check mark, people get all sorts of self-importance that is completely undeserved. When at first that check mark was simply just supposed to tell people, I am who I say I am. Now it more or less says, I am approved by Twitter. I don't do anything wrong ever. By the way, I'll attack you in a heartbeat if you say anything wrong. Yeah. And of course, that is not for everyone who has a blue check mark. Hopefully one day I will have one of my own. But probably not, because I'm not that important, or I just retweet trash. But other than that, it's a nice thought. It's been a really interesting couple of years politically, if I have to be completely fucking honest. I remember hearing a lot of the shit against Obama back when I was in high school, and it was all just, garbage being thrown at the wall. talking about the birth certificate or all the fucking Facebook videos of Obama's the Antichrist. But like, ever since Trump took office, man, I have not seen a single day where everyone wasn't putting 100% effort to prove that he had colluded with Russia, or had paid a stripper to take a piss on a bed, or you name it. At this point, every single person has come up with a new conspiracy, and everything under the sun has been done by Trump. He kills puppies on the weekend for fun, didn't you know?
Okay, let me ask you a question. Does this fall into like the Milo Yiannopoulos category of it being a way to get the country talking?
I love how I said we should talk about politics in the odd hour, and you bring it right back up.
You brought it up with Trump. Your political pandiness is getting in the way of our goofy gamey stuff.
You mean your goofy gaming shit?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well then, fine. I will take over the topic back from your Trumpiness.
Please do. By the way, if you're not subscribed to us, go ahead and do that, and you'll see the odd hour where we continue this pointless conversation.
Shazoo!
What are the
Shazoo!
for?
Well, that's the sound the click button makes. When you click the subscribe button, there's a
Shazoo!
There's a bell. Wouldn't the bell be a much better reason to...
Shazoo!
no, that would be a ching. There's a difference.
If they were different bells, if anything, a button should be... That's a button. I'd give you that one.
But it's an internet button, so it can have a sound effect.
You know what, Snips? Every time he says...
Shazoo!
I want you to go ahead and just make a stupid sound. Nothing that makes any relevant sense or even closely resembles it.
Shazoo!
I just want you to
Shazoo!
out every
Shazoo!
that's ever been said on this
Shazoo!
podcast.
Nay. What?
Next topic.
Okay. So
Next topic.
I'm gonna blow a good trumpet here. BioWare recently on the 23rd came out, and most people that are following gaming news knows about Anthem and how it's had this long development cycle, and people have been worried about the ability of BioWare to be able to produce a game since Mass Effect Andromeda. Because that was a shit show nobody wants to remember. Even after all the updates, we have just put that in the corner next to Colonial Marines and have just forgot about it.
I still unironically wear the promo hoodie that I got because I had faith.
Well,
I wanted it to be good so bad.
yeah. And to be fair, up until that little ice level, I didn't have any problems.
You keep saying ice level, but I haven't even got that far.
Oh my god. Well, like,
I think I got to like the second planet.
just to talk about the game for a second. When I got to that planet, I had to go and save some of the new race, and I kept having this problem where I'd go to save this group of individuals at a the small little base they have scattered across the planet, and I would get there, and the person would tell me, "We're under attack. There's nobody there." As I would get back in the machine and drive off, the ships would appear. This is like 3 minutes after I've had this conversation and ran around trying to activate something.
Beautiful.
But to move on towards Anthem, all the gameplay footage has been great. Recently, YouTubers like My Name is Bife and Houndish they went out to the studio and had actual footage and come back, posted it on YouTube, and it looks really, really cool. Like, tight gameplay, guns look like they're hitting pretty well, supers are going off nice. The open beta hit this past weekend, and it crashed due to so many people signing on, which is not necessarily a bad thing. However, the CEO come out and said that playing the beta versus playing the actual game will be different. There will be an economy change from demo to actual gameplay. There will be some other changes. I'm not sure if it's damage or if it's power activations, but there will be some differences. So, like, if you watch the Corrigan's coverage on it, Jeremy is he's pretty vehemently annoyed about it, saying things along the lines of, "This is garbage. Don't pre-order the game. Don't pick it up. We don't want companies that do this. They're trying to trick you into buying a game that is different than what it actually is." But like, we have so many people bitching and moaning about the fact that these companies are not being open with us and not talking to us, to their communities, about what's going on and how things are changing. But the first time somebody does it, what happens?
Well, of course, you're going to see a situation go where a company decides to be honest and tell its flaws, and people go, "Oh, well, you have flaws? Well, let me talk about that real quick." I think that everyone who's, trying to keep up with mainstream gaming is still very shell-shocked from the way Fallout 76 panned out. It's pretty hard to fight that urge of a game that the beta failed, but it didn't fail as hard as Fallout 76, because lest we not forget that there was a bug on the PC version of Fallout 76 that you go ahead, you sit through the multiple hour install, fire up the game, and the launcher deletes all of the data and you have to reinstall. If the servers crash, you know what? At least the game started. And yeah, okay, the game's gonna be a little different from the demo to the actual product. But guess what? That's what good companies do when they put out a demo. The demo is supposed to be out there for people to give their feedback and give their criticisms of the situation that the game is in at that point. If a company put out a demo and then the game was exactly the same, then what was the point of the demo?
Well, yeah, if Bungie had done that when Destiny first came out, dude, that game would have been unplayable. Like,
it's not that it would have been
blew everybody away.
It's not that it would have been unplayable. It's more of the fact that they had to do those fine-tuning points to actually get the game to where it was balanced. They totally reworked the weapons. Me and Frosty here were both in the Destiny 1 beta, and we spent a good 4 or 5 hours playing around in it and getting to the point where we were seeing people farming all the walkers that were in the fallen area and just hoping for that best roll of a rocket launcher, because you were level capped at what, level 5, level 8, something like that?
Yeah, I think it was 8.
Just high enough to get the second grenade, I think it was, just to see what the nodes worked like and all that good junk. And so people were trying to set up their characters because Bungie was saying, "Oh yeah, totally, we're going to let you guys keep all this stuff and we'll put it in when we open up the actual game. So that way you have a head start on those who didn't participate in the beta." But then they found out that a couple of the mechanics that they had put into some of the weapons, as well as some of the classes, were fucking broke.
On top of one of their company people leaving.
Well, we're not going to get into the internal parts. We're strictly talking gameplay here.
Fair enough.
Like, they had to make some changes, and in order to make those changes, they had to go back on their word of whether or not they were letting people keep the equipment and levels that they had gained during the beta. Yeah, that pissed me right the hell off. But people still played, and I can respect BioWare's decision to be honest up front and say, "Look, things are not going to be perfectly balanced. We're going to have to change things." At least they're giving me a heads up so I don't put 5 fucking hours into it trying to grind for a good rocket launcher. That's wasted fucking time, especially if they're just going to come back like a week later be, "Oh yeah, so that really shiny thing that you felt really accomplished at getting, it gone now."
Or it's trash.
It's a mess. I'm not going to lie, but most game development is a mess. Look at what the hell Steam's gone through in the past decade of trying to encourage indie developers to put their shit out into the world and show the world what kind of indie development can actually be. And then they just had Unity fucking asset flips plaguing their games, their game page, and plaguing the greenlight system to the point that Steam was a fucking trash heap
I mean,
come
even-
2016, man.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the wonderful man known as the Steam Cleaner, Jim Sterling.
I thought it was Stardust.
Oh, wait, isn't it the Cornflakes Homunculus?
Yeah, I think it was the homunculus who took care of the fucking green light situation.
It's one of them dudes. One of them dudes. But yeah, if it wasn't for him, Steam would still be in a shit show. I mean, in a worse shit show than it is.
Oh yeah, they definitely haven't cleaned shop yet. But, you know, it's hard to make broad sweeps and get this all situated out proper without having collateral damage. And as much as I want to hate on Steam, I used to be a very loyal customer to them. Back when I could afford computers that could game. And not just afford computers that can record audio.
Speaking of shit shows, though, on the 5th, yeah, I believe it was the 15th of this month, Ubisoft reacted to some...
What month is it?
The month of January. Ubisoft reacted to SJW and LGBT and the LGBT community by changing a DLC to fit their whining.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's I believe the Assassin's Creed DLC. I forget the name of the dang thing.
What, Odyssey?
Yeah, it's Odyssey's current DLC. Anyway, it changes the choices of the player. If you chose to be homosexual in the game, you can have a family, so to speak, and get married and all that good stuff. But the DLC shows the main character has a child. The Quartering covered this, and give Jeremy props. He did really good with this. But the story is supposed to align the main character of the game that's not in the past with the main character of the past, so that you have this lineage of assassins. And yes, there could have been something else, but it makes sense that there would be a child to link that bloodline over the millennia.
What, you gonna tell me that you can't just asexually reproduce?
I don't think that's how it works. There's
No,
not
no,
a lot
no,
of
man.
Virgin Marys out there.
All gay people can asexually reproduce. Didn't you know that's why there's still a problem with adoptions?
I'll be dead burned if that's the case.
Well, like, and we were talking about this shit earlier at some point, and they could have made it work inside of the actual lore without having to delete an entire DLC. I mean, how many pieces of Eden can fuck with people's minds or see across the world? You're telling me there isn't a simple way to write in that one of these first people's technologies could take two people's DNA and spit out a baby and still have the gays be able to make babies?
I mean,
really?
And it gets me because the name of the DLC is Legacy of the First Blade.
Beautiful.
I mean, come on, gotta have a kid in there somewhere.
You know, I actually have a tweet for this by Kate, the mean anime girl. Remember when we would laugh at Christian moms for not letting their kids play Pokemon because it's the devil? Now grown-ass women are getting movies, shows, and games banned because it's problematic. And apparently that's better. Problematic is just the new name for the devil. and like, that is so fucking poignant nowadays. Because, I mean, hell, how many people... We actually had a YouTuber get his entire channel deleted temporarily because of the fact that he was streaming Red Dead Redemption 2 and fed one of the suffragettes to a pig. And said, ha, that's what you should do to feminists. And his entire channel got nuked until enough outrage happened for YouTube to be like, well, okay, no, this time it's okay.
I mean, whatever happened to the whole "it's just a game" aspect? Like, it blows my mind that people are gonna get that outraged over a game. I mean, I could understand if Well, actually, I can't. I have to agree with Chris Reagan over the whole. It's not From Russia with Love, but the name of the level where you.
Oh, the Call of Duty game where
Yeah.
you shoot down.
You just mow down that whole group of civilians.
Yep.
But like, it's just a game. It's not like these games are messing with someone's mental faculties to the point to where they go and do stuff. I'm sorry, there's too many studies proving that this is not true.
Well, the thing that we need to focus on is that when people get outraged about this, it's not because, oh, a game is mean to my marginalized group because they didn't consider us. It's, I can't remember who I heard this from, but in today's day and age, the way we've created culture, everything you do is a political statement. Remember when everyone got mad about haircuts?
Yeah.
The fucking Nazi haircuts, when it's just a good fucking haircut. Like, I can't even like a haircut anymore because someone somewhere did something bad with that haircut.
Yeah. Now you're a pariah because your hair is parted in a certain way.
And it's, yeah, I get it. You have to see messages between the lines, and it's okay to interpret things, but not everything is a fucking slant at you. I'd like to go ahead and state it. I'm not that fucking important. If I read a book and it doesn't have the ending that I would have put in it, I'm not going to tell everyone quit fucking reading. If I go and watch a movie and I don't like a twist ending, I'm not going to go and protest outside of the movie theater until they give me my money back. I'm going to be like, wow, okay, I guess I'll just wait and see what other people say about this person's content or these person's creations after the fact and not give them my money up front. I mean, that's why I quit giving money to games and pre-ordering games, because I can't tell what the hell's gonna come out of that. You don't deserve my money. I've become a filthy casual, but that's a story for another day. The thing that I want to really hammer home is that as people, we constantly in today's society want to talk about representation for marginalized groups, and that's great. I'm glad you have your representation, but you can't sit there and say the needs of my marginalized group outweigh the market of what a fucking AAA developer game has created. If a game pulls in billions of dollars in sales, who gives a shit about your couple $100,000s of sales to them? They don't see you as people, they see you as numbers. Guess what? That's capitalism.
Well, it's representation turns into victimization. Yeah. So, like, I don't know, man. The whole victimhood mentality is ridiculous, and that's a topic for another day. But that's what it is. If you're not viewing me the way I think you should view me, you are now making me a victim. You are causing me problems. It's ridiculous, man. And that's really actually. Do you want a Superman?
What the fuck are you talking about? Do I want a Superman?
Well, do you want to have some Soulja Boi conversations?
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Because I know you've heard about it.
I've heard a lot about it. I actually watched this channel, Tyler Oliveira, I think is how you would say that name. He actually bought up a lot of the Soulja Boi tech and...
Really?
Yeah, and actually tested it all. And, you know, that's where I found out that Soulja Boi wasn't even branding any of the shit that he was peddling. He literally was just buying up emulator consoles, cell phones, tablets, smartwatches from all these Chinese tech companies, and then literally just putting them in an envelope and sending them out and selling them as Soulja tech.
Yeah, I think you can go to Alibaba and get the same console for like $25.
The Soulja Retro Mini.
Yeah.
I actually own one of those.
Oh.
But I owned it before Soulja Boi, stole the fuck out of it. and he's charging like $80 for it. I got mine for $40.
Yeah.
And it's the same fucking thing. Literally the same fucking thing. He was just buying up all of this tech and just repurposing it and selling it for just straight fucking profit. And the fact that people are fucking defending him and saying he was just a boy with a dream. He was just trying to get into a market that he appreciated. No, the fuck he wasn't. He wasn't creating anything. The only thing that motherfucker created was the website that he was putting it on. Yeah. And even that's owned by Nintendo now.
I mean, he was. People were. A lot of the backlash was like, "Oh, they're just trying to down the black man." But that's not what it was. If he was actually creating a product that was worth it, even if it was cheap, if he was putting money into creating it would be completely different.
Oh, absolutely, it would have been completely different. But the fact that the dude was just taking Chinese knockoff consoles, handheld emulators, if you will, Raspberry Pis in disguise, like, the guy wasn't creating jack shit. He bought up cell phones that are very well known in China, like, and then didn't even fucking put any stickers on them. He shipped them in the original box from the developer of the phone. It was just a shit show. Like, in every way, shape, and form, the man didn't create anything. He was literally just doing a cash grab. And people were eating it up for half a minute until everyone started realizing that, wait a minute, he's discounting everything by like $20. How is he discounting everything at the startup of his company?
Yeah.
Wait a damn minute.
Yeah.
And even with the discounts, you're still paying twice the amount that you could go and buy it from the fucking Chinese places from. Like, what the fuck?
And, you know, since we're talking about janky merch already, we're gonna circle back real quick to good old Bethesda. And we're going to talk about two things that happened this month. The first one is the Nuka Dark Rum.
Oh, Jesus
and
Christ.
I'm going to chat on that because that was the one I know about. I think the other one is some fucking jacket, but I don't. Panda is a jacket expert, and I'm not fooling with it.
I just have a funny tweet. First tweet. Second tweet. And I thought it was funny.
But like they put out this product and it's called Nuka Dark Rum, and it's supposed to be this special quality drink from the wastelands that comes in this really special bottle that is reminiscent of in-game the in-game glasses, and it's a piece of merchandise. Nobody was buying that for the rum, because if they were going to buy it for the rum, they'd go down to the store and pick up some Kraken or
Captain Morgan.
Yeah, or Sailor Jerry's. Yeah, it's something good.
Or
rum.
if you're really, really desperate, Montego Bay. Oh, I remember them days. Oh my god. Oh.
Are you sure you remember those days?
I do, because I think it was close to lead poisoning is how that hangover fucking felt. Oh my god.
But anyway, so like, bottle looks glass. There's no advertising. There's nothing in the advertisement saying that, oh, this is our best product ever, or what the bottle is made of. It's just it looks like glass. If you want to see a review of the rum itself, let's see. The guy's name is Nicholas Drinks. Him and his buddy do a review of the rum compared to others, and they ranked it straight shit. YongYea's video on it is phenomenal, but needless to say, the rum, the bottle itself was plastic, a snap together plastic bottle, so that you wouldn't have to worry about like messing the bottle up. You could take it out and still have the display and it looked nice and drink your bottle and not do nothing else with it. But like, you can't pour it. It's got this humongous cork that goes in the top of it with no seal, by the way, and you can't even pour it.
It's a plastic bottle with a cork?
Yeah, plastic bottle with a cork.
That just sounds tacky.
It's horribly tacky. The website itself, it's the dimensions of the entire package is 13 by 6. It's roughly 60% larger than the standard 70 750 milliliter bottle, and it stands out on any bar. This is a product we are extremely proud of, and we are sorry that you feel that you were in any way deceived. We were very deliberate in the creation of this product and paid great attention to the brand and its quality. Not just the presentation, but the rum inside the bottle as well. We can't wait for you to see it in person and taste it for yourself. They spent like 100 hours coming up with a plastic bottle. They even had glass bottles made and chose to make it out of plastic because the glass was too cheap.
What the fuck? Wait, glass is cheaper than plastic?
We determined that that a glass bottle alone would not have been a dramatic enough look we wanted. We wanted something big and bold for the Fallout fan base. It's oh my god, it's horrible. The idea was that the bottle was housed in a vault of its own. And
I mean, don't get me wrong, you're kind of clever, but shut the fuck up.
Like, I hate to say it, but the bottling company just kind of, they took a nosedive, man. Oh, it was, I feel for them. It was bad. It was so bad. And they wanted to, take a wild guess how much they wanted for it.
Too fucking much?
Yeah, they wanted $80 a bottle.
80 fucking dollars. God damn.
That's before, that's before shipping costs, by the way, and it's from Silver Screen Bottling Company. Bethesda didn't say jack squat.
See, like, don't get me wrong, I understand that to do all that in-house would have been pretty fucking hard to do since Bethesda doesn't make liquor. But, like, you gotta check on the fucking companies you outsource to. I mean, maybe someday far off into the future, we can do merch when people love us enough to give us artwork that we can buy. But I'm still going to check the company that we outsource that merch to. I'm not a goddamn seamstress. I can't make fucking clothes. But I'm sure as fuck going to look at the clothes before I sell them. You're going to tell me that anyone from Bethesda felt that bottle and felt the crinkle in its hand and was just, wow, I'm absolutely enthralled at how exquisite this bottle might be. I'm sure all of our fans will love it. I'm sure they'll totally forget about our canvas duffel bags.
Which look like trash bags.
Oh yeah, speaking on, Bethesda again, I have a wonderful tweet about that lovely jacket. And this comes from a wonderful person called Sin's Beggar. Captain, the ship is sinking. We must do something. I'm thinking jackets. Life jackets, Captain? No. Some clothing. Merch to sell to the passengers. The whole concept of a sinking ship that's on fire. We need to do something to redeem ourselves. What do? Well, we did so well with our last merch. Let's just do more. God bless.
It's like Bethesda doesn't want to make games anymore. I mean, for years, yes, there's been bugs in their games. But, it's been easy to overlook those bugs because not only do we get hundreds of hours of gameplay out of it, it's a single-player game that we can talk to people about on a daily basis about the thousands of ways that we have solved the puzzles in the game.
Like, in Bethesda's historical defense, yes, their games were buggy. Yes, we all have a story about a glitch from a Fallout game or an Elder Scrolls game where it broke the game and we had to reload or start over. Like, we've all been there. But the sheer amount of content that they would put into those games made us get lost in those worlds to the point that, yeah, okay, some shit doesn't work as well as it could. But people were endeared to the product enough to have entire communities modding the games on computers, not on consoles, because fuck us. But you had an entire plethora of people who would go in and fix these small glitches that they found or that their friends told them about. And it was a constant collaborative effort to truly enjoy a Bethesda game. But now Bethesda's been spitting in our faces for so long with bad merch and questionable business decisions. Like, I remember back when Elder Scrolls Online was first announced. I looked over here at Frosty and said to him, why on God's green earth would you make a single-player game multiplayer? If the entire story is, you're the chosen one, the only one who can save the realm, but there's 50 people in front of you that have heard the exact same message.
And when everyone's super, no one will be.
How fucking special do you feel?
It breaks the immersion. I remember when Angry Joe played through it, and he was swimming, and he just fell through the earth, like over and over and over again.
It's just, I understand having, trust me, I understand like putting yourself into a place where you can have that monthly subscription income and a larger active player base in a game that's going to constantly evolve. That way, the people who are actually developing the game can constantly fix those glitches that players find. I see the thought process. I see how they could think we can make this work. But in the process of trying to innovate and make better changes and better practices, they forgot what their fucking strengths were. Like, if I'm really good at throwing a shot put, and I can throw that ball farther and harder than anyone else with the best form, I'm not going to then say, I can do just as good at cross-country skiing. That's a completely different ball game. Not a ball game. I'm done. Bethesda, you make me mad. Why you hurt me so? Why you do this?
But yeah, that's been the gaming debacles of the month so far, and I'm sure there's a few more, but I mean,
Who gives a shit?
really, like it is mind-numbing to look at this stuff.
Oh, speaking of games, do we all remember Stefan Molyneux?
Oh God,
You know, the guy who made Fable.
what did he do now?
Oh, he spoke his mind, and it's bad.
When do people learn they're not supposed to do that? Hamsters
Stefan,
don't produce good
good
stuff.
old Stefan Molyneux with his wonderful little tick mark, blue check mark, if you will, the status badge of Twitter, decided that it was totally okay to say that interracial couples are almost 3 times more likely to commit mutual assault than mono-white racial couples.
What the fuck?
Having an interracial marriage is the second highest risk for divorce after one of the partners having an anxiety disorder. Biracial kids have a lot more psych problems.
What the fuck?
And I've got to be honest, the first thought I had was, like, I'm going to take the fucking opinion of a man who couldn't put a game together with every fucking financial backer given. Like, the man obviously has no vision, no mental capacity for detail, and you're going to give a commentary on society? How about you take your bald fucking face and throw it into a ring that you could actually, keep it in, like the ring of a bathtub? Well, guys, here we are again at the end of another Commonly Oddcast. In our common opinion, it's been a rough fucking start, but hey, no dead bodies on YouTube.
You could say it's been an odd one. Snip.
No, don't snip it. It's horrible, but I love it. I don't really love it. I just want him to feel important. As I was attempting to say, we've come to the end of our first month of 2019. We've had a good run compared to 2018, I guess. Kind of, maybe. Hit that wonderful red subscribe button.
Da-na-na.
And that bell for us. And yes, Snips, I want that
Da-na-na.
to be different. I don't want it to be
Da-na-na.
I want it to be something special. I don't want it to be in his voice for sure. But go ahead, do all the social media stuff. On Twitter, I am at OddlingPanda.
I'm at Oddling Frosty.
Snips is at OddlingSnips. You can also go ahead and follow the main podcast for the updates of when we upload at Commonly Oddcast. Or, you know, for the one or two people that might be listening to us, think of a hashtag and put it in our comments section and we'll run with it. Why not? We'll let you decide. Maybe, if we think it's clever enough. Try to impress your masters. Yes. But alright, everybody, please have a wonderful month, and we will see you next time.
Bye!